You don't rise to the level of your goals. Most people believe that when the moment comes, they'll rise to the occasion. That when life gets difficult, they'll suddenly become more disciplined, more patient, more focused, more courageous. I used to believe that too. Then the military taught me something that completely changed how I view success. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your training. And once I understood that, I started seeing it everywhere. I remember one training exercise that drove this lesson home. Everyone was exhausted. We'd been pushed physically and mentally for hours. Then suddenly, everything changed. New instructions, time pressure, confusion. People started making mistakes, and what stood out to me wasn't that some people suddenly became extraordinary. It was the opposite. Nobody transformed into a superhero. People defaulted to whatever they had practiced. The people who had built strong habits performed consistently. The people who hadn't struggled. That lesson stayed with me because I realized life works the same way. When stress hits your marriage, you don't magically become a better communicator. You fall back on your communication habits. When financial pressure shows up, you don't suddenly become responsible with money. You default to your financial habits. When your schedule becomes overwhelming, you don't automatically prioritize your health. You rely on whatever routines you've already built. Under pressure, we default. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck because they focus almost entirely on goals. Every January, they decide, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to save more money. I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm finally going to start that business. And those are good goals. But goals describe outcomes. Systems determine outcomes. The military understands this. Training isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, sometimes boring, often inconvenient. You practice until the right response becomes automatic, not because you expect perfect conditions, but because you expect difficult ones. Life doesn't usually fall apart all at once. It tests you in small moments, when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you don't feel like doing the work. That's when your systems matter most. I wish someone had explained this to me earlier because there was a period in my life when I relied almost entirely on motivation. And motivation is unreliable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. But systems don't care how you feel. A morning walk doesn't require inspiration. A budget doesn't wait for the perfect mood. A commitment doesn't ask whether today is convenient. That's the power of training. It removes negotiation. Now, this doesn't mean becoming rigid. It doesn't mean becoming perfect. Military personnel aren't perfect. Leaders aren't perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I still have days where I procrastinate. Days where I get distracted. Days where I fall short. But I don't rely on good intentions anymore. I rely on systems. Because intentions fade. Life gets busy. Unexpected things happen. And systems keep moving you forward. Even slowly. And slow progress is still progress. So if there's one military principle that changed my life, it's this. Don't ask yourself if your goals are ambitious enough. Ask yourself if your daily habits support those goals. Don't ask whether you're motivated. Ask whether you've built systems that work when motivation disappears. Because eventually, life will test whatever you've been practicing. And when that moment comes, you won't rise to the level of your intentions. You'll fall to the level of your preparation. I know that might sound uncomfortable, but I actually think it's hopeful because it means your future isn't determined by talent or luck or personality. It's shaped by the choices you repeat every day, which means change is possible. So I'll leave you with a question. If your current habits remained exactly the same for the next 5 years, where would they take you? And is that a future you're willing to accept?